How's it going, guys? Universe back again with another video. Today we are going to be flying out the Mirage 2005F. This jet I posted about 4 or 5 months ago. A long time ago I made a video on the Mirage 2000, and at the time the Mirage 2000 was extremely good, but compared to what it is now, it is absolutely subpar. What it is now is 10 times better than what it was before. And I know some of you might be surprised and be like, okay, yeah, it got increased flares, it got, a helmet-mounted display. You can, aim your IR missile wherever you want. Yeah, okay, what else? You know what I mean? Now, you've seen from the title and the thumbnail, there is a bug right now with the Mirage 2005F where if you take the gun pod, it has no physics. The gun pod has no physics. So it doesn't increase drag, it doesn't increase weight. The only thing that the gun pod affects is your recoil when you fire, because you're obviously firing more rounds. But you get 850 rounds. That is more rounds than an F-14, more rounds than an F-16, more rounds than an F-4S. You have 850 30mm cannons at your disposal with no cons. It is actually insane. It is so unfair. And I'm not even going to lie with you guys. When I made the videos for this, when I found out about this bug, the games that I played, I think I played 5 matches, and I got 20-something kills. I actually was getting an ace every single match. It was so busted. Don't get me wrong, the Magic 2s are already amazing, but the helmet-mounted display automatically makes it 10 times better, because being able to fire off an IRCCM missile, such as the Magic 2, in my opinion, is so much better. Before, I think it was a little bit more balanced, and I know a lot of people might disagree with me before with the HMD, with it not having HMD, because in my opinion the Magic 2 was honestly a lot better in terms of anti-flare resistance, and it made it already pretty good. And now that you already have HMD into the match, it's even more good. Not to mention, I talked about flares too. You have 160 something flares. That is already OP enough. So not only do you have 850 rounds, you get 160 flares, and you get 4 insanely good missiles. I don't know about you, but this is the absolute GOAT of top tier. No MiG-29G, no F-16C, nothing can compare to how good this is. Especially if you take stealth rounds, right, and you go into head-ons with people. It's like they can't even do anything. They cannot do anything. And unfortunately, in this footage here, I don't have any of head-on stealth round shots, because I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about the possibilities of that, being how effective it could be. But it is so good, because you're shooting off 4 different cannon rounds, and if you just spam it in one direction, you don't even fire that many rounds off. You maybe fire like 50, 60 rounds. That's not even that much, considering you have 850 rounds of 30mm cannons. And yes, a lot of people say the defas are not that great, but in my opinion, the defas are incredible. They're extremely easy to aim and extremely easy to learn, and they do really, really, really good damage. Now, obviously, if you go with stealth, you are kind of going to lose a lot of that damage, because it's obviously the tracers are gone, which means that you're less likely to hit actual decent shots on the fuselage. So it's pretty much like a 50-50 high risk, high reward, because, the higher risk, you can't really see where you're shooting, but high reward because they don't know where you're shooting at either, so they can't really dodge it. So it's one of those things that it's honestly a 50-50. I'd recommend you pretty much deciding your preference on that. But if you do have the Mirage 2005F, I would 1000% recommend taking advantage of this bug right now, because once Gaijin fixes it, the jet's going to be still amazing, but it's not going to be as amazing as it is now. And to be honest, I'm really hoping that my video is seen by Gaijin, that they do make a bug fix on this, because it's really, honestly, in my opinion, so broken. 850 rounds with 30mm, and there's no con of taking it, is so stupid. But as you can see from those last 2 games, that is 2 matches, 2 back-to-back aces. Those were my first 2 games of the day. And we're on to the next one. I spot an F4. He's going to be chilling off into the side here. Unfortunately for him, he does not have his headphones on because his PS4 mic is broken. So he has to play out of his TV monitor. And he does not hear me at all. It's an F4EJ. I'm going to fire off a Magic 2 from the side aspect. And the Magic 2 is super, super nice because it doesn't have a super long burn time. And he pretty much can't dodge it. And he's out of the match. At this point, I'm going to continue extending on. I'm going to use my 530Ds, my super 530Ds, and pretty much destroy people out of the sky. This is pretty much what I've done, is I use my Magic 2s to take out one person who's not paying attention, maybe like a bomber, an F4. And then I use my radar missiles to pretty much destroy everybody else that's at, at altitude and camping and not really doing a whole lot for their team. Because, going to altitude doesn't really do anything. Being into the battle, rushing, getting straight in, and doing as much damage as possible is going to win your matches. I'm going to fire off a 530D. I'll run into another guy here. I believe it was an F14, but I could be wrong. I was wrong. It was an F4, and that guy's out of the match. Again, why is an F4 climbing? Nobody has any clue. Maybe he's bombing. I actually don't remember if he was. I would have to check the replay on that. But again, there's no point if you be bombing at all if you're in an F4. I get it. The F4 is hard to play, but there's no point. You're wasting your time. You're wasting everybody else's time, and you're not going to improve. But we got an F14 straight ahead. It's an F14 Bravo. I'm going to hit him with a radar lock, fire off a radar missile off at him, and I did it so fast that he had no time to react. And that's an F14 Bravo out of the match. And again, just displaying how perfect the Mirage 2000 is. Being able to fire off your missiles so fast, like you don't have to wait for any type of delay like the F14 has, and the F16. That you have like a little tiny delay. It doesn't seem very long, but it's enough to bear. It like gives me a pet peeve where I'm like, I hate this. I hate that I have to wait this long for the missile to load up. But with the Mirage 2000, I don't have any problems with it. I can literally just fire it off instantly, and it's so beautiful. And again, displaying it here with the 850 rounds. I'm just spamming my guns. I don't even have to aim. I just spam it in one area, and I just absolutely obliterate him and send him back to the lobby. And I still have... Let's see here. Can I count? I still have 660 rounds left. That's pretty stupid. Pretty unfair. And not to mention, you can just see me churning, and I'm just churning and burning. And I'm not losing any value out of it because of the gun pod. I'm pretty much a empty Mirage 2000. That's exactly what you can see here. So I'm an empty Mirage 2000. The gun pod doesn't exist because Gaijin is so awesome. And again, if you don't believe me that the gun pod has... no physics, you can literally click on the Mirage 2000 for yourself, go to the loadout options, hover over the gun pod, actually click onto the gun pod when it's by itself, and it will show nothing at the right, showing that there's any changes in your specs in the actual flight performance. F4S straight ahead. I go for the shot, but unfortunately I did not shoot early enough, and I caused the F4S to pretty much panic, and he starts going up and pulling straight into my guns. And unfortunately for him, there's nothing he can do with the 30mm. I have way too many of them, and they're way too powerful, and they go pretty far distances, and he's slow. It was pretty much a recipe for disaster for him, and he was out of the match. Another F14 here. I'm going to go for the head-on here, but I also know that he's turning into me pretty quickly, and I go to disengage last second. It actually could have been really lethal for me there had I not pulled off in time, because we probably would have ran into each other, which would have been quite embarrassing. Unfortunately for the F14, he does decide to pull straight in front of my guns, and what he doesn't know is that he's so extremely large that 850 of my rounds are definitely not going to be missing. And yeah, he's out of the match. Classic F14 moment. Not surprised. Again, this is where the 850 rounds succeed. There are going to be a lot of jets like the MiG-29, the F14, especially the F4, where you can just fire these things off, and they're just pretty much most likely to hit. You're going to struggle a little bit with F16s. I did notice that when I was going for them. It's a little bit of a struggle with them because they're a lot more nimble, a lot more smaller. But even with that, it's still not a problem because even if you do miss, you're still going to have loads of ammo left. And honestly, this is also a perfect aim trainer too. If you're someone who's not very comfortable with guns or not very good at it, this would be the best time to train yourself with weapons and straight up ammunition. Is to just take out the Mirage 2005F. Got another F4S here. Spotted him on radar. He's not paying attention at all. And Magic 2 on the side. He's out of the match. And that's 7 kills. That is 7 kills in one match. And I'm just chilling. There's nothing that's stopping me. This game is virtually over. Like, thinking about it honestly, if you really truly think about the Mirage 2000, it literally has barely any cons. It has barely any cons. Yes, you have 2 less missiles than the average jet at top tier. Yes, you don't have good, energy retention, but you churn incredibly good. You have really incredible engines. You accelerate super fast. You're also extremely fast above Mach 1. Your missiles are still amazing. You have HMD. You have obviously a huge bug right now with the guns where you have 850 rounds to your disposal with no effect on your jet. There is literally no con with Mirage 2000 right now, and it's absolutely perfect. And I'd recommend it to anyone who's grinding out France. Start grinding as fast as you possibly can. Spend your GE. Do whatever you got to do. Buy the Mirage F1. CT, and oh my goodness, and go crazy. This jet is awesome. It's going to be so extremely fun, but I can't wait for them also to fix it because I do know that we shouldn't be having these crazy bugs in the match because it's just going to ruin the game. And just like that, the last player, the current ass, is out of the match, and that is 8 kills. Let me know if you guys are going to be getting the Mirage 2005F to try out this bug, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.